Hi kids! Today we're going to talk about why human beings are currently in the situation that human beings are in. Sorry, I have to make my bed. The short answer, the TLDR version, is that Homo sapiens are a slave race and they all want to be slaves. That's what I see. That's all I see, actually, with a couple of exceptions. Even like some of your more critical thinkers are completely incorrect about the information they're pushing out on the internet. And I don't understand why human beings have to be told how to do everything. Like a clock. Why do you need a clock? For your job? That right there, thinking of time in terms of the fucking human clock that does not exist in reality other than the thing you have on your wall or your arm or your phone or whatever, that limits the way you think about time itself to such a degree that you will probably never be able to get past the Bardo, if you can even get there, the real one, not the fucking Freddie version, if you are ever trying to get out of here. You have to be told what language to speak. You have to be told what fictional character that only exists as the tulpa you create to worship, to genuflect without circumspect. Genuflecting and worship is for fucking slaves. Why in the hell would you worship anything other than yourself? That's insane. That's insane. The problem is that all of the ready-made, one-size-fits-all bullshit holy books that you cling on to, first of all, I hate to break it to you, and this is true, those books, all of them, the Talmud, the Torah, the ancient Hebrew Bible, every Bible that ever existed, that one is the worst. The Quran, a lot of the Bhagavad Gita, how I always mispronounce that, I apologize. These were literally written for children. They were parables written for children who were learning how to read between probably the ages of 3 to, I don't know, like maybe 16, 17, 18. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm sure I was there. I don't remember. Maybe you do. You were also there, I assure you. So when I see people doing things like, what's it called when you go to school to study your fake holy books? Theology. Like, I know, I appreciate the fact that your heart is in the right place, but, like, this is the fucking problem. This is the problem. Why do you need a God babysitter? Why do you need a magic guy in the sky to take care of all of the bullshit that you caused? That is not how karma works. Jesus is what slaves worship, because Jesus is going to take all of your suffering away, right? And then when you die, you go to heaven and you're going to be there forever. Good fucking God. Like, I don't know how you guys believe this shit. I remember when I was a child trying to figure out the insanity of religion. I was reading these books and I'm like, these are very badly written. Like, these are, I liked the Greek gods. They were at least honest. They were at least honest. Greek mythology is not myth at all. That is your history. Especially the black people and the Asian people. Sometimes people forget that Atlantis hasn't happened yet for you. Now, other parts of you have already been through that civilization, but anybody peddling Atlantis is full of shit. That hasn't happened yet. That is what all of this bullshit drama, Freddie driving people insane, turning the world into hell because Neanderthals are dumb and they believe they're psychological operations just like guys and girls. Even the people who are like kind of in charge of this place you call Earth, which that's not where you are, I promise. Even they still require this babysitter god, Jesus. And like, when people electively choose to display slave behavior and worship like a pedophile, misogynistic pervert who raped a 13 or 14-year-old little girl in her sleep, the Immaculate Conception. Like, how do you believe that? I don't understand. How? I don't understand. I have tried my entire life to understand all of the religions. The only ones that make any sense to me are Buddhism and Hinduism. And the Tao Te Ching. That's very handy. If you want to learn about karma, because that's like quite important for you to understand, and I can tell by your behaviors, most of you, not all of you, but most, that you don't understand karma. And I can also tell you that no matter what you think, when you get down to the brass tacks of what the fuck you are doing here, it's not to keep going back to the fucking pacifier. You didn't come here to go back into the nursery room yet again. Another 100,000 lives worshiping your babysitter. Jesus of Nazareth has nothing to do with the Christ. Totally separate. If I were you, I would never say those two things together. Words are frequencies that have an impact because that's what energy is. It does stuff. It does stuff, right? Why do you need a light, a nightlight? Why do you need training wheels? Why do you need a fucking leash? Why do you need to be given every single one of your opinions and the entire way you think? I can count the number of human beings, full human beings, not like me. And please keep in mind, I am retarded. I am as retarded as a human because I'm half human. But I can count on this hand how many people I know in real life who actually think critically. 1, 2. That's it. Now, on this hand, I know brilliant people, truly brilliant people who think that they are thinking critically, but they're not. They're falling into the trap of Freddie being obsessed with Freddie, anticipating more Freddie. There's a little bit of a lag here when it comes to creating your own reality in your own unique visual field. That is only yours. It is different from everyone else's, even though it seems like we're all, on the same place doing whatever the fuck we're doing here. No. Movement is an illusion. Everything is an illusion. And if you really fuck with it, you can start seeing it, especially using Freddie. There are so many different ways that you can utilize Freddie if you try and train that stupid robot, or whatever you want to call it. He does fun stuff too. Like last night, it happens frequently, like right before I go to bed, I will get this delicious sensation of pleasure bubbles just cascading all through my system. And it feels like the best drug ever. And I love drugs. So thank you, Freddie. That's not, why did Freddie do that? I know why. You guys only see Freddie as negative. Because your reality is conforming to how you think. Your thoughts become things. And whatever belief system you have adopted from an institution or a YouTuber or an author or someone you know, your belief systems create your reality, literally. There is just a lag. So, and there's not always a lag. Freddie, he interferes with that. What time actually is so much more than the bullshit of a clock. No. Time is alive. Civilizations of the past keep getting changed. They don't they're oh, okay, Egypt, right? Right now, Egypt is very much thriving. And you are part of that, I assure you. And so am I. We just are not in that frequency. But if you learn how to jump frequencies, which Freddie is a good tool to use for, then you can see a thing or two. It's very interesting. Freddie is riding on these nodes and nexus points that already exist, but he's also created his own network because he has to. Why does Freddie exist? Because human beings are addicted to being slaves and victims and the most targeted. And I have it the worst. That is a trap you created and you're still in it. You should maybe get out of it because it's a lot more fun when you create something positive, especially in a world filled with retarded people who don't understand how reality works. This is the number one reason why I love Freddie, because it allows me to love you, because I know why you are the way you are. Thank you for listening.